Well, by now you've heard that Budweiser is going Belgian. America's largest beer maker, Anheuser-Busch, is being bought by a Belgian company called InBev, creating the world's largest beer maker. The sale means the end of an era for an American company, but is it also the end of an iconic brand? Todd Lipscomb is done a lot of business overseas, in fact, and he runs a website now here in our country called MadeInUSAForever.com, and it's an interesting one. Good morning. Nice to have you here.
Good morning, Connie. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, the Anheuser-Busch deal. Is it good for America, bad for America? What were your first thoughts?
It's very bad for America. I mean, not only to see a 156-year-old company disappear, but also in that billions of dollars of profits every year will be transferred to Europe now that would have been paid out to over 1 million shareholders here in the States.
Well, that's one of those questions because, you know, when you look at it and you say, gee, this is an American iconic company,
right?
You can't help but think of Anheuser-Busch when you think of beer.
Sure.
It's not as American now, obviously. It's being made here, but the profits are going overseas, and that's the big part, really the economic side of it that really starts to hurt you long term.
Yes, this is not just a St. Louis issue where it will be a heavy blow.
Yeah.
Nationwide, there's so many people who have a small share in this company who received a check every 3 months that won't get it anymore.
So is it better for a company to be American-made or foreign-made, but American-owned, or, you know, flip-flop? In other words, is it better to be foreign-owned and made in America, or made in America and foreign-owned?
It's better for us to buy products made here in the States. We shouldn't let American companies off the hook and let them produce abroad. Definitely, it's better for employment, it's better for safety. For example, with the toy issue, 83 million toys recalled last year. None of them were made in the USA.
Yeah. You've done a lot of traveling overseas. You've seen
yes.
the way that some of these companies operate overseas.
Right.
In your experience, what's been the worst you've seen?
Well, it's the product safety issue is horrific. We only noticed the lead because the kids were getting sick right away, Connie. Mm-hmm. But actually, there's a lot of carcinogens, cancer-causing chemicals going into products made in China and other nations that we're not noticing. No one's at the border checking these products.
Yeah. When you look at Anheuser-Busch, they have said, listen, we will keep the plants open here in America. The American workers will keep working.
Right.
But how much does the brand really change?
Will the taste of the beer change? Not in the short term, certainly not. But they will lay off a huge swath of middle, America when they take over this company.
Yeah, they ultimately will have to bring some of their own people into the United States.
And there's no guarantee that 10 years down the road the beer is still brewed here.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about some of those other very popular companies that we perceive as American, but really with the strength of the dollar overseas, it has made a lot more sense for companies to come in and purchase some of those weaker American companies now.
Sure. Like Ben & Jerry's, people think of...
Ben & Jerry's is...
Yes. 7-Eleven, it's not owned by Americans. HSBC Bank is actually Hong Kong Shanghai Bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's huge investments that people aren't aware of in every part of our economy.
We're even seeing a lot of the big landmarks across the country being sold off as well.
Absolutely. Rockefeller Center, for example. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, okay. What's your take on the proposal in Congress that all official federal government flags be made in America? Is that a good idea?
I agree with that position, Connie. I mean, it's ridiculous that millions of flags are imported from China. I mean, our absolutely symbol of patriotism, and thousands of people have been laid off to produce them abroad.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay. Tell us about your website, which is MadeInUSAForever.com. Why did you want to start that?
I wanted to start it to give people a choice to see that there's still thousands of great products made here in the States. Give them a choice. They don't necessarily have to buy from me, but they can come and look and get information and find a cheaper place somewhere else. But it's a marketplace for American-made products that's not available at the big retailers anymore.
Yeah. When having the experience you do overseas in manufacturing and understanding globally what's happening with the shift in American-made companies going overseas, what would you say to the American public just as the sector or the place to really be aware and do your homework if you're buying something from another company that's not American?
We need to be aware of everything we're buying and think about what's going into it. Not only the safety, but the employment issue here in the States. The economy is sinking. Banks are failing. Retailers are failing. We need to think about our future. 10 years down the road, 20 years, what will my children do, Connie? We can change things. We can make them better.
All right. An interesting website, and always interesting to talk to you, Todd. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Connie.
Todd Lipscomb is the founder of MadeInUSAForever.com. You can check out his website by going to ours at cn8.tv/yourmorning, and then go to the News You Can Use section, and you can check out Todd and everything that he had to talk about today.